Hey guys, welcome back. I decided that today I just wanted to sit and chat with you guys. I feel like I haven't really had the chance to just sit and chat since the wedding really. Obviously I've still been uploading videos, so all of the wedding content is already up and you've started seeing all of the moving vlogs and us settling into our new apartment. But today when I'm filming this, it is the 17th of February and I'm hoping this will go up probably in a couple of days. But all of my vlogs are like backed up, so they are a couple weeks behind. It will get to a point pretty soon probably where we're back up to date and my vlogs won't be like 2 weeks behind every time they go up, but it's just because of all the wedding stuff and I took a little bit of time off, which was definitely really needed. So I just feel like I haven't been able to like talk to you guys real time, so that is what today is all about. I just wanted to sit and give you guys an update about how I'm feeling and how life is, and also just answering a bunch of questions from you guys from my Instagram. I told you guys I was filming a little update / Q&A video and asked if you had any specific questions that you wanted me to answer, and I've saved a couple and I'm gonna go through those today. Liam and I have been officially married for 1 month now, which is so exciting. Obviously that's not a very long time, but it has flown by. I do not know where the time has gone, but at the same time I feel like it's so normal for us to be married now. Like, it doesn't feel weird at all. One of the questions that I got quite a lot actually was, how are you actually doing? And I just want to say I am so genuinely happy. I can't even express how content and how full of joy that I currently am. I don't think it's necessarily just being married that has made me this way, but just the stress of getting married during COVID was a lot, and planning a wedding was a lot, and there was just so much going on in my life over the past, I would say more so like 6 months, and it was just a lot. And I'm really glad to be in a state of life currently, like right now, where things just feel calm and peaceful. There's nothing crazy happening in the best way possible. I have got things planned for later in the year, even just little trips with friends or some bigger things as well, but right now I just feel like I am chilling and it's perfect and exactly what I needed. I don't want to say I was burnt out at all, but I definitely got to the point where I was like, I just need a break. Like, I just need a break. So our honeymoon was literally the best thing ever. Just a week of doing absolutely nothing and just being by the beach and just reading books and going for walks. So that was just incredible. And as you guys might have known, I took that whole week off of YouTube, so I didn't edit anything, post anything, and that was so needed as well. So honestly, I'm just feeling like my best self, and I hope that I can continue to feel this way for a very long time. But it's just, yeah, so nice to not have anything crazy coming up. Obviously we just moved, we just got married, there was just so much happening, and I'm glad that it's all over and it's just so nice to settle in. But I'm back at work now. Obviously I'm actually leaving for work in like half an hour, but I wanted to film this video this morning. But yeah, life is just so good. So let's move into the questions. The first one I have is, how is it living with Liam? Is it what you expected? And this is just so interesting to me because I was asking Liam last night, I was like, how do you feel like our marriage is going? Like, what are your thoughts, kind of thing? Just, we always have these chats like, how do you think our relationship is going? What do you think we could improve on? And I think that's a really awesome thing. I think some couples call it like check-ins and they do it every like 3 months or whatever it might be. We're not as like organized, I guess. We don't do it at a certain time, but just every now and again we sit down and we're like, how do you think things are going? What could we be doing better? Is there anything I could be doing better? Do you feel like you need anything from me? That kind of thing. And one of the things I was saying is, I just think it's so crazy at how normal it is. I'm so surprised at how normal marriage feels. Like, you guys probably know, Liam and I didn't live together before we were married, so we didn't like share a room or share a bed. We didn't spend nights at each other's houses. We didn't do any of that. And so I thought that it would be like a really crazy jump from not being married to being married because there was so much change happening. But it just felt so normal and so natural and so right, which is crazy to me. There has not been any times where I'm like, what the heck, I'm living with a boy, like this is not right, this is so weird. It has just all felt so natural and so organic. And in terms of like how Liam is as just a roommate, as like living with him, he is literally the best. I have not washed our clothes since we got married. He has done every single load of washing, which is incredible. We kind of have picked up certain jobs that we do, and obviously we'll do them for the other person if we think they need to be done or whatever. It's not really like a spoken agreement, it's just we just pick up certain things. So he does our washing and he makes the bed every morning because he gets up after me. But I'll cook dinner every night. I do certain cleaning things, but he'll often do them too. He often empties the bin. Like, it's just random stuff like that. But he is literally the best roommate. He is so clean. He's also a minimalist, so he just like doesn't own a lot of stuff, which means our house just never gets cluttered because I hate clutter. And so that's incredible. He just does like everything is just incredible. I'm so shocked. And maybe it's like a newlywed stage, whatever, but I think Liam is just genuinely a very neat and tidy person. So I think it's going to be an incredible experience for the rest of my life. And every night he always says to me, is there anything I can do for you tomorrow? So maybe sometimes I'll be like, actually, could you do the grocery shopping? That would be really helpful. I'll give you a list. Or could you do a load of washing tomorrow? I really need this shirt for later in the week, whatever it may be. And he just like does it. It's so crazy to me. But yeah, I feel like I've literally hit the jackpot with husbands because he is the best ever. Someone asked, how do you and Liam actively keep God in the middle of your relationship? So this is obviously a really important thing, and I think the main things I would say if you are trying to keep God in the center of your relationship is that you need to firstly be putting God first in your individual life, and you both need to be doing that as individuals, because if you're not separately putting God first in your life, then there's no way that you can put God in the center of your relationship. And the second thing is that you need to be active and you need to put effort into putting Christ at the center of your relationship when you are together as well. It's never going to be something that you just like don't have to put effort into. I think it's something that you will always have to try to do. Otherwise, that's kind of when you fall out of routines and all of those sort of things. So Liam and I pray very often together, but I would say the main thing we do is every Thursday night we have our like Bible study nights. So we talk about it prior, but we'll pick a section of the Bible to go through, and we'll also pick a section of a book, like a Christian non-fiction book, to go through together. And then on the Thursday night, we'll read through any notes that we may have taken and we discuss it and we ask each other questions about it. And I think that is such a great way to keep Christ as the center of your relationship, because you are going through the Bible together, which is literally God's word, and also going through the Christian non-fiction books together kind of just helps us to be constantly improving, constantly growing, but also doing that together. So we often read books separately by ourselves, just in our own time, and then we also read one together. So at the moment we're actually reading The Meaning of Marriage by Timothy Keller, and that has been really good so far. We actually just started it like last week, and before that we were reading Holy Spirit Here and Now, and that was also really good. So those are like the main things we do, but I would just say you need to be putting God first separately in your own individual life before you can put God first in your relationship together. Next question. A lot of people are asking how long we're planning on living in the apartment for, and so obviously we're living in this apartment and I'm actually obsessed with it. Like, I love it. It's really fun and really, I don't know, it's all coming together slowly, and I would say we're gonna be here for a few years. Liam still has 2 years of uni left, and where we live right now just makes a lot of sense with where we're at currently. So I think even if we have the money to buy a house in the next couple of years, I don't think we'll actually buy a house until Liam's got a full-time job, just because we don't know where he's going to get a job after uni, and maybe that will be interstate. I don't know. I'm not against the idea of that. I think that could be really fun. It might be here in Brisbane, it might be over the other side of Queensland. Like, I don't know where it's gonna be, and so I don't really want to buy a house until we know where he's gonna be. But I do hope that the next place that we move after this apartment will be a house that we will buy. I could be wrong, maybe it won't work out like that, but that's our plan, and that's kind of what we're aiming for, what we're saving for. So I think we'll be here at least 2 to 3 years, unless something goes wrong and we feel like we need to move, or I don't know, something like that happens, but that's the simple answer. At least like 2 to 3 years. A few people actually asked me what I do for work, and I realized that some people are new followers, so they may not actually know what I do, but I work as a teacher aide in a primary school and I really love it. This year I'm just working with the year 5s, but last year I also did a lot of work in the SEP unit, which is like special education, and I was mostly there as like a behavior teacher aide, just kind of there to support the children with extra behavior needs. And so I've really experienced it all. This is also a really common question. Do you still see Georgia as much? And honestly, no, I don't see her as much, because obviously I literally lived with her. Like, we were housemates, so I saw her every single day, and especially when she started working from home, like, I would see her all the time. But I would say, and she would agree with me, we've had this conversation, that our friendship is honestly better since me getting married since me moving out compared to what it was when we lived together. It was never bad when we lived together at all. Like, I don't think we ever got really mad at each other, frustrated, annoyed. However, when you live with someone, there is a lot more opportunity for you to get frustrated with someone or annoyed with someone. And a lot of people say don't live with your best friend, and I don't agree with that. I think it is the literal best, most fun thing in the world, but I think it's a lot less ideal than people make it out to be. So I think when you live with friends, people make it out like it's just a big party and it's just so much fun all the time, when in reality you have to have all those boring conversations about who pays this and who pays that and how you're gonna organize this thing, and you don't actually really spend time together. It's just saying hello in the morning or like maybe drinking a coffee together some time in the day, but it's not like actual quality time. And so now when we see each other, which is still like usually multiple times a week, it is just such good quality time. Like, we just sit and we just chat and we hang out and we talk about work and we talk about friends and whatever, but we just spend really good quality time together, and we're just focused on each other rather than just like sitting on our phones and like watching TV at the same time or whatever it might be. So I think our friendship is better than ever, but it's definitely different to what it was, but in a good way. Okay, so when I read this question, an answer popped into my head, and I don't think this is the kind of answer that people are looking for, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it was funny. Someone asked, what's something unexpected about marriage? And to be honest, the most unexpected thing about marriage for me personally is that my screen time on my phone has been cut in half. I didn't expect screen time to be related to my marriage whatsoever, but now that I think about it, it definitely makes sense. Obviously, before Liam and I got married, we weren't living together. We weren't seeing each other every single day, even though we were seeing each other like 4 or 5 days a week. And even when we did see each other, it was usually only for a couple of hours in the evening after work or something. So throughout the rest of the day, we would just be like texting off and on all day, and so I was constantly checking my phone. And you know when you like go to check your phone and like reply to a message and then you somehow end up on Instagram and then you like end up on Facebook and like whatever else, that always seemed to happen with me, and so my screen time was a lot higher. And another thing is, when I was living with Georgia and I was like getting ready in the morning or whatever else, it was often just me alone. So I was often just like getting up and it was just me for the first like couple of hours of my day, and so a lot of the time I'd put on YouTube videos all morning or all afternoon, just, you know, to have on in the background, and that would up my screen time so much. And now I don't do that because I get up in the morning and Liam's right beside me, so like I'll chat to him for a bit, and when I'm eating breakfast I'll like chat to him while he's drinking his coffee. And so I don't even touch my phone for the first like 2 hours that I'm awake, not even because I'm like trying to restrain myself, but because I don't even think about it, which is incredible. So yeah, that is just something so random, but my screen time has been literally cut in half. So if you're trying to get off your phone, apparently get married and that will solve it for you. That is not the solution, never mind, don't listen to me. What is it like living with your husband? Is it different to when you lived with Georgia? I would say yeah, it's actually like way different to when I lived with Georgia, because it's just a whole different dynamic. Like obviously Georgia and I were friends, Liam and I are married, so it's just like such a different dynamic. Like for example, Georgia and I always cooked our own separate meals and did our own separate grocery shopping, but now not every meal, but like all the dinners that I cook are for me and Liam, and all the grocery shopping that I do is for me and Liam, or Liam and I, whatever. And I think my mentality to do things is just way different as well. My love language is acts of service, so if there is something that I can do for someone to make them feel loved, I will do it. So if our bathroom is starting to get dirty, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna clean that because that's like an act of service. That's something that I can do that also benefits Liam. However, when I was living with Georgia and we had separate bathrooms, I didn't really care as much about making sure my bathroom was like always so spick and span, because it was just me that it was affecting because she had her own bathroom. Obviously I did still clean my bathroom, but you get the idea. Like we do our washing together, we cook our meals for both of us, like all of that stuff is just together. Yeah, it is very different, but it has honestly been such a seamless transition. Do you drink alcohol? If so, does it ever give you anxiety? I really wanted to chat about this for a second. So I do drink alcohol. I don't think I've ever said that I don't drink. I've always admitted that. I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking alcohol, but in saying that, I'm not a big drinker. It's just not something I'm really interested in. It doesn't make me feel good, so I don't usually have more than a couple drinks at a time. I'm also a huge lightweight, so I really only need like one drink and I am good. I am fine. But I will say one of the reasons why I think that I don't drink very much is due to my anxiety. For me to be able to be comfortable enough to have more than like one drink, I need to be so comfortable in my environment. So I would say the times when I have had a few more drinks, it would be like when I'm having a girls' night with a friend and like sleeping over at their house, or that is actually probably it. if I'm out like at a restaurant or out at a club or at a bar, I can only have one. Like I feel so uncomfortable having more than like 1 or 2 drinks because I'm so anxious that I'm gonna like, you know, just lose control, or I don't know, it just really doesn't appeal to me. It makes me feel sick. If I'm out at a party or out with a group of people that I don't really know, I just can't. So I do think that my anxiety has a major role in that. I don't have a problem with what other people choose to do. It's totally up to you how you choose to live your life. But yeah, that's just how I feel about that situation. And so if you're the same, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you don't want to drink, who the heck cares? I sure as heck can have an incredible time partying while sober, so I don't think there's any shame in that. How are you both managing money? Shared accounts or split bills? Liam and I completely believe that when you get married, you become one and you're like a unit, basically. You are one unit. And obviously you're still individuals, but we're under the belief that like what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. And so we completely share all of our money. There is nothing that is just mine or just his. It doesn't work like that. We just share our money completely. That's our belief. Obviously, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but that is just where we stand. So we completely share our finances, but before we were married, we did not share any finances. Personally, I don't believe that you need to share any money before you're married. Like I don't really see why, especially if you're not living together or anything like that. So we never had any shared accounts before, but yeah, we share everything now. And the last question I'm gonna answer, or like kind of answer, but not really answer, because I want to have a chat about it, is what was the wedding night like? With a little smirky emoji. Since getting married, this is like the main question I get. How was the wedding night? Have you done the deed? Which is such a gross way of saying it, honestly. Tell us about your first time. All of that sort of stuff. And I am just gonna say right now, it's none of your business. I know that I share my life online, but I 100% do not share everything. And that is one of the things that I definitely don't want to share, because it just has nothing to do with anyone else. And I had decided that before we had gotten married, way before we'd gotten married, because I just don't understand why anyone else needs to know about that. In my opinion, that is something that is completely between Liam and I. It's not a conversation that I'm having with heaps of my friends. It's not a conversation that I'm talking to my family about, so why would I share it on the internet? And I hope that doesn't sound offensive or rude or anything like that. But another part of why I don't really want to share those things is because it's not just my information to share, it's also Liam's. And he has not chosen to share his entire life online. And I just don't think I'm in the position to share someone else's like private information. I will say there are definitely YouTubers out there who I really respect and I really enjoy their content who do go into more detail about that sort of stuff. So if you watch Melena Ciciotti's video, she's talked about her experience with that, or Kyan Tilton has talked about her experience with that. I'm sure there are others out there as well, but if you want to kind of just have a general understanding of a Christian point of view of that sort of stuff, go watch their videos or go watch someone else's videos, because the information that I would share is already out there from other people who have the same perspective as me. I just don't feel like I would be adding anything to the conversation of this idea with my experience, because everything that I would say has already been shared by other Christian influencers. So I just wanted to talk about that because it is just a question that I get so much, and it's just not something that I'm ever going to talk about. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's no rules to YouTube. You can literally choose what you want to share and what you don't want to share, and that's just one of the things that I don't want to share. Sorry to disappoint if that was your burning question, but I also don't think you should be that surprised, because it's never been part of my brand to talk about that sort of stuff. I've never gone into detail with those kinds of parts of my life. You guys didn't even know Liam's name before we got engaged. You guys didn't even know what he looked like before we got engaged. So I am definitely a private person when it comes to those sort of things, and I just don't feel comfortable talking about my sex life on the internet, if I'm being completely honest. So I hope you guys can understand and respect that, and I really hope that I stop getting questions about it, because it's just not something I'm going to talk about. I hope you guys had fun just sitting and chatting with me. I definitely did. I honestly feel like I was just sitting and chatting with a bunch of my friends, which is honestly how I always feel when I sit down and chat to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this little update on my life. Give me a little update on your life down below. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to, what's happening in your life. I hope it's all good things, but I'm sorry if it's not. But I love you guys. Thank you for all of the support lately. I've never felt like so loved on my channel before. With all of the wedding content, all of the moving content, you guys have just been the most supportive community ever, and I love you guys so much for it. But I'm gonna stop rambling because I need to leave for work in 8 minutes. So I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Goodbye.